Welcome to the packet on solving equations. In this particular packet, we're going to look at solving two-step equations, and we're going to solve equations using the distributive property. Take a look at each of the cases given to you. In case 1, we compare these two equations. The first one and the second one, which contains a set of parentheses. In case 2, the same is true for the next case. As we compare both of the equations given here, we see that in the first equation, there are some negative and positive values. In the second equation, that's also true, but this equation contains a set of parentheses. And finally, as we compare the two equations given in number 3, we see that this particular two-step equation contains a fractional coefficient, and this second equation also contains a fraction, but a set of parentheses too. Let's take a look at how to solve each of these types of equations. Let's start with case 1. In case 1, we're going to solve both equations for the value of x. Let's start here with our two-step equation. Please take down all the notes as you're given them. If you need to pause the video to catch up, please do so. Now that you've dropped a dotted line down each equation, let's solve the first one. By adding 4 to each side, we zero out this term. We're left with 2x equals 10 plus 4, 14. And now we want to get rid of the coefficient 2. So we divide each side by 2. X equals 14 divided by 2. In this case, our answer is 7. But let's move to the right and solve the equation that contains the parentheses. Let's take a look at the distributive property. We know in order to solve this equation, we must get rid of the parentheses. So, put a 1 in front of x, and we are going to distribute the 2 to each term inside the parentheses. 2 times 1 gives us 2x minus 2 times 4 gives us 8. Now it's time to solve this equation. We've eliminated the parentheses, so add 8 to each side and zero out that particular term. We get 2x equals 18. And then let's get rid of the coefficient of 2. Divide both sides by 2. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. And x equals 18 divided by 2. Well, that's 9. Now let's take a look at case 2. As you can see in case 2, each equation contains negative values. So let's think. We're going to have to use our rules for integers. When combining terms, we'll circle our pot of chips and use this T-chart. When we multiply and divide, we'll think about the Margar rules. Let's begin. Drop a dashed line down each equation in case 2. Now let's solve our two-step equation. Let's eliminate positive 8 by placing a negative 8 here and a negative 8 here. Circle your pot of chips. Let's bring down negative 4x equal to Now let's combine our negative 20 and our negative 8. A loss of negative 20 combined with a loss of 8 is negative 28. Now remember, when you divide to get rid of the coefficient negative 4, you need to divide by negative 4, not only on the left-hand side, but also on the right-hand side. Let's think about Margar as we divide a negative 28 by a negative 4. Our x is now alone. Negative 28 divided by negative 4 gives us a positive, and the result is 7. Now let's look at the second equation given to us. We know we have to eliminate the parentheses. We're going to distribute that negative 4 to each term. We're going to multiply negative 4 by 1 and negative 4 by 8. The negative flips each term to their opposite, and the 4 will quadruple each term. A negative 4 times 1 is negative 4x. A negative 4 times 8 is a negative 32. Now let's solve. Add 32 to the left as well as the right. Circle negative 20 and positive 32. Bring down your negative 4x term on the left and combine these values on the right. A loss of 20 but a gain of 32, we have to subtract the values. We get a positive 12. Now divide both sides by the coefficient, which happens to be negative 4. X equals, think about Margar, you have a positive divided by a negative. You should get a negative result. 12 divided by 4 is 3. Your answer is negative 3. Now let's take one last look at the equations that contain fractions. Case 3. For case 3, please drop a dotted line down each equation, and let's begin to solve. Let's start here and solve our first equation. Let's subtract 6 from both sides. What you do to one side, you must do to the other. Bring down the term 1/2 x equals 20 combined with a negative 6 or a loss of 6 is 14. Now it's our job to eliminate the coefficient. We're going to multiply the left side by the reciprocal, but also the right side. What you do to one side, you have to do to the other. X is now alone. And over here, we're going to multiply top times top, bottom times bottom. 14 times 2 is 28 over 1 times 1 is 1. Or 28. X equals 28. Please take down these notes. And when you're ready, continue on. If you need to pause the video, please do so. Let's look at our last problem. Each and every time we've had a set of parentheses, we've applied the distributive property. But here, in order to eliminate the fraction, we're going to use the reciprocal trick. In order to eliminate 1/2, we're going to multiply by 2 over 1, the reciprocal. But what we do to one side, we have to do to the other. That's eliminated, and we're left with x plus 6. Over here on the right, we're going to take 20 times 2 and 1 times 1. We get 40 over 1, which of course is simply 40. Let's write it this way. Now we only have one step left. Let's eliminate the plus 6. Subtract 6 from both sides and combine these terms. You're left with 40 and a loss of 6. You get 34. If you need to pause and go back and look at any of the notes, please do so now. Make sure you've copied all the notes for page 1. You're going to continue working in this packet to complete the problems. We're going to look at page 2 together in the next video. Please turn to page 2, and when you're ready, let's watch the video for page 2.